What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my studio. I'm Joseph Finchum. You are you, and sorry about the little delay. I forgot to do something, of course, and it took a second to do that. Okay. We are going to be doing a tulip today, and I'm wearing these magnifiers, which are not my normal glasses, um, so I can actually see what I'm doing this week. The last live stream, by the end of it, I couldn't see anything. My glasses are getting weaker, or my eyes are getting weaker. One of the two. But yeah, when I stare at something for long periods of time, I start to get a little blurry vision, even with my glasses. So I'm going to try these magnifiers. They don't fit, so they have to sit here on my nose, and plus I can't read the chat or see anything else through them. So we'll give this a shot. Okay, let's get into it. And hello, thank you, Lynn Creative Arts, for the audio video check. All that is good. Hey, George, thank you for joining. We're going to get right into this today. I'm starting with a kind of not fully sharpened, kind of dull pencil. Lead in a lead holder. And the point of that is that it's not going to indent the paper too much because it's dull. Um, I want to be able to erase these lines, and this is that same journal I used last week, which is a 140-pound cold press paper. I think because of the lighting, I have the curtains open for once. I thought maybe that might help with the lighting a bit. We'll see. Last live stream, the lighting was way off, and everything looks too red. My finger looks way red, or my hand looks way red, and this is like a dull light blue, and it looks kind of like a solid. Everything's off. You know how I do. And if you're new here, hit the buttons, do the things. Okay, so we're going to start with a cup. Just like last week with the daffodil, it's going to be a slightly different shaped cup this time. We're just going to put a line there. See, when my hand's in the way, it gets too bright. And when I pull my hand away, it gets a little darker. The reason it's a different shaped cup is because it comes more to a curve than the daffodil did. There, that's all. We're actually going to cut that off a little bit, make it just a little flatter on the bottom. And then just erase some of that lightly so I don't damage the paper. Okay. Over here, we're going to try and shape this a bit. Let me zoom in on my reference. The reference is from my own yard. It's the first tulip in my yard to bloom, so I chose it. Okay. So this looks like it goes out a little and then comes back in, swoops down to the bottom, curves in a little bit, and then this comes out, down, a little bit of a shadow there. I don't know as much about tulips as I do about daffodils, so I cannot tell you what kind of tulip this is or much about them. That is way wrong. This comes in, it comes back out like that. But we're just having fun. My schedule is completely destroyed, so I'm not following the schedule anymore. Now this one comes up like this. Little nook in there. Up. And then it kind of waves outward. From here. It looks about right. And then I'll color it in Inktense like I did last time. But I may, if there's time and I actually get that much done, I may throw some ink on it at the end. Sorry. The brain's not there. Indication of these little streaky lines. There's some noise going on out there. Probably a landscaper or something. Not my landscaper. I do all my own landscape. Indicate those. And then this here is actually casting a shadow. So we're going to draw in just the indication of that shadow. Looks a little higher than that. Right there is good. Give a little bit of shadow here so I know. I might be able to make that a little darker for you in some places, so that there's a chance you can actually see what I'm doing. Right now I'm just sketching it out. And trying to get it down on the paper. Back here, we have a little roughly. I'm going to make this a little higher than it is in the photo just to kind of bring the shape all back together. Okay. We're looking pretty good there. I don't know how it'll look once the color starts going on, but we'll see. And okay, I can't read that. You know, Angela, that's been happening to me for like a good month and a half now. Your streams, Lisa's streams, doesn't matter. It never auto starts. I always have to refresh now. And then, of course, when I do refresh, it gives me an unskippable 30-second commercial. Driving me nuts. So I understand. No, I think maybe, D-Lynn, I think maybe I'll, like this, it's back there, that's what I'm looking at, it's behind my easel. I may be able to work myself back on track, but having, or not having that one canvas for that one project I wanted to do, which was supposed to be multiple streams, really threw everything off, so yeah, now I'm just starting to, you know, reorganize and do some new stuff. Okay, so our stem is going to come down here like this. And there's a leaf there. And I made a little mark there, a little mark there. There's a little slicey mark here. One here, one here, one here, one here, and one here, which are just basically telling me how far out to go with these. My stem has a shadow on it, so let me just kind of draw that in. It comes down like that, and then the leaf cuts across it, so it goes like that. Okay. And this leaf, start blocking it in, comes way up here to a point. Down here, gets a little fatter, wider, whichever word you prefer to use. One of the reasons I chose this photo over some of the other ones I took was both the lighting on the curls in the leaves and the way the shadows land. You know, I really liked the way they came down here, you know, the way they weirdly accent the leaves. So, and this has another stem on it, which has a little bit of a curve to it. I'm gonna rough that in. Almost as thick as the stem for the flower, if not the same size, I'm not sure. Okay, we've got a little line that runs through like that. Another one there. I have noticed that tulips tend to have like the leaves look like they have very large cells in them. Like you look at some like tree leaves, like a maple leaf, and it's tiny, tiny little cells. But tulips seem to have much wider, fatter cells in their leaves. This might be a little too curved. Bring that in a little bit. Now there's a shadow on this leaf that comes down like that, and then follows the side of the stem. And hello, Clark Fine Art, if I didn't actually say hello to you. And Starving Artist, thank you for being here. Everybody is welcome. Thank you for joining. Hit the buttons, do the things. I'm going to keep saying that. I am right now at 1,119 followers or subscribers, so please, you know, let's get that to a 20. Why 19? Let's make it 20. If you're new here, hit that button. Okay, so now this is where it's going to get weird, because this is where the leaves start getting all kinds of weird shaped. So I'm going to block this one in, I guess, by going... Is that too curved? That's probably too curved. I'm going to make this a little darker so you can see it. That's why I'm saying, like, I may do the inking at the end, because I'm going to have to draw these lines dark enough for you to see. At least I hope they're dark enough for you to see. And then when I paint it, you know, they'll fade away a little bit, but they're definitely going to still be there. So if I do some inking, it might cover up some of the stuff. Hi, Kimmy B. Thank you for joining. Much appreciated. Okay, this definitely looks off. So we're gonna. We're gonna adjust as we go. See, that's a really weird shape. Because of the way the shadow is here, there is a roll in the leaf right here. I don't know if you can, if you can see the thumbnail, you'd see it. And then this shadow is going to come in here, circle around, right up to there, down, point there, comes all the way blocking that edge. Here we have another shadow which comes in this. Highlight on this edge, so we'll try and leave that open a little bit. And this shadow kind of looks like a butt. We'll call this the butt shadow. Because why not? Just little indications to myself where these shadows should go. Some of them are shadows being cast on the leaf, and some of them are like light passing through the leaf. So I may end up a little confused here at some points. And may not even know what I'm doing myself. Now, this is a highlight, not a shadow. And the shadow actually, where does it start? Right over here. It's going to come like that. And the highlight there. And we'll see if we can get these highlights in the Inktense. I generally have a little bit of trouble with Inktense. This that a little fatter because that actually a little wider because it actually comes through the other side and then drops down with a pointed shadow. There's a leaf in front of that, so I'm not going to finish that piece at the moment. But I want to start getting it in there so I know where to draw my next piece, which comes up like this. And then there's a curl on this leaf, like that. I'm looking under the arm for my camera so I can read Starving's comment about her sourdough bread. Did you save any of the dough so you can feed it more ingredients and make more sourdough? Because I hear that's how you're supposed to do it. So let's see if I can get this weird, really weird leaf in here, which starts about here. And I'm just trying to pay attention to the form and shape of everything. This has a highlight on it, which helps define the shadow. The other side has a highlight too, all the way down. A little bit there. Okay. Now this one is where it gets really weird because there's an overlap in here with some light passing through the leaf. So let's see how this goes. This comes up, curls out, big swoop this way. That was swoop, Angela, not swoosh. No swoosh in here. Don't mind me, I'm losing my mind. Losing? Lost. Hi, Snow S. How you doing? Thank you for joining. Much appreciated. Always a pleasure. I gotta move. Oh, no, no. Yeah, move this over a bit. This is a very strange shape. There. Needs a little bit of a highlight up on this edge. This edge all the way down to the tip. There are actually a lot of weird little highlights on this thing. Trying to make sure I'm staying on camera. I may not thank you for telling people what I'm using, D-Lynn, but I may not be using the graphic pen. If I am gonna ink it, I'm gonna be using good old pen and nib and some dipping ink. So, but thank you. It would be the Noodler's ink. I don't have a link for that. It's not in the description, so I forgot. It's another little shadow spot. And there's like a straight line one here. Kind of has a wave shape at the end. And then this thing comes out the side. Hopefully I can keep it on the page. At least my drawing's close to being accurate in size today. Unlike last week where I went extra last live stream where I went extra small by accident. Comes from here. Little erasing here with the mono 0. Little bit of a highlight with a shadow kind of behind it. I don't even know how that's possible. And I'm just being scribbly here because these are like the big cells I'm talking about. Like there's a cell here that's an oval, and here that's a big oval, and here that's a big oval. So I'm just kind of trying to indicate edges of that cell shape. Okay. Now here, let's see. Okay, so this is the... I'll figure it out. Give me a second. This is the dark green. This is the black. That's the background, which is cut out, so technically black. And shadow. It comes down like that, which passes through this leaf. Okay. And then there's a weird highlight here like that. And the rest is like a weird little blend of a little streaky blend of color. Now, let me move back to the other side. See, this leaf I did here, I messed that up a lot because it should come all the way down to here. So, yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I'm going to fix this, or at least attempt to. So it actually should have come from here. Redraw a whole bunch of these lines. This more nice smooth roundness to it. This highlight is much bigger than it was. Does that come from there? No, that's not even where that is either. This is right. Let's keep that there. And this is going to come from about here, not over there. Let's come down this way. And this shadow comes up and forms around. That. Erase the butt shadow. Redo the butt shadow. I mean, really, it looks like a butt. What can I say? Ah, starving. Welcome back. Dang that internet, right? Okay, so that's not right, but we'll see what we can do with that later. That's much better. Much better placement now. looks about right. It's a little weird and off because you can't actually see where the stem and leaves meet the bottom. Is that one? Yeah, that's that one. And there's another little leaf that hides back here. Which is mostly in shadow, but not too much. There's a big shadow here on this. And my brain is telling me it looks wrong. But you know, paint what you see, not what you think you see. Hey, Cat's Art Pics, thank you for joining. Okay. I think that's pretty much drawn out. So, we're going to start getting into some color. We bust out the Inktense. See if I can move this over a little bit. Try and keep some of the colors going in here. My pans are destroyed from every time I've ever used these things. Hold on, I need a sip of something. Okay. Can't read. That's a good question. That's a good question, George. I don't know. Did they? Okay. Water. I think I want to start with the leaves. So we're going to try and get like a nice light green. This might be more almost yellowy green. So it might be too yellow. Let's see. Get some more bright green in there and see if that fixes. And I'm going to do the whole of the leaves in this. This will be my base color. Try. Thanks, man. I'm going to try and leave it open where the highlights are. And we'll see how we highlight those later. You know what? No, we're not. We're going to do the whole thing. Some of this graphite will probably move as well. I might be able to keep it a similar color the whole time. We'll see. It's already two different colors right here, so we're off to a fairly bad start. I'm not super good with the Inktense. I think they mix weird, and it's in my opinion they're better used if you're going for solid colors and not trying to really mix those colors together. But that's just me. You may have a different opinion. Not filling in that area because it's much darker, so why fill it in with the lighter color if I'm just going to go darker later? Thank you, Cats Art Pics. I'm trying to get a good shade here. I have old colors in here, so they might be mixing in as well, but for the most part, they're a light. It's mostly greens in there, is what I'm getting at, so hopefully it'll be okay. Whereas up in here, no, down here, and then this comes around. Well, that might be a little darker. I'm trying to let it spread a little bit like watercolors, but eh. And as I said earlier, we're just playing today. We're just having some fun. I'm not going for a super work of art here. We're just playing. Giving this a little bit more color here. This is going to be super dark. I want just like a stripe down here. Around that shadow and highlight. Let's see if I can dull this out a bit. Blend it in a little more, just a little bit of like a shadow area here. Dry it off. Almost invisible to you guys. Okay. A little bit more of the green. Continue on the leaves before we get too far out of control. That's too dark. I can already tell that's too dark. Lighten that up. Closer. Okay. I'm trying to vary the greens, you know, so that they're not all exactly the same. That actually looks a little like I messed that up. Maybe an extra space in here that shouldn't be there. I left the whole leaf over here out because it was a little too confusing. So that's probably where I'm messing myself up. uh, just work this color in, make a little more. Turn it a second to get the right angle. And so far, these magnifier glasses are working. Yeah, you're definitely not going to lift out any mistakes with Inktense. They are definitely way less forgiving. That's too wet. Let me pull some of that off. There we go. Right, so that is a little bit darker there. Mm. Trying to go very light with this color to make it very, very light. I want it to really look like it's capturing that light. Looks almost neon on the screen. Definitely not neon. Trying to just add a little texture in there in some spots. I shouldn't have painted that part in because when I make it darker, it might go too dark. Up in here. Get them in there, both of them. Trying to keep these greens near each other. Anything else that's like super light, just a little bit right in here. This piece here. But I can probably change this a little more later. We'll see. Well, maybe I'll just do it now, because it does look like it has a slight shadow to one side. So I'll just try and darken that color I'm using a little bit. Bring this down this edge. And then we'll try and soften that a bit. Okay, that might work. Now we're gonna go dark. Much darker. Well, not much. In the middle. That looks exactly the same. Let's see if I can. There we go. Point on this. Good. There, but there wasn't. This dark. See if we can just darken that piece up a bit without ruining it. And then start on this big shadow up here. Try to fill the whole thing in. The overlap is going to give me a little bit of a hard edge there. That's okay. Completely change the color now while it's still wet because it was not dark enough. Sorry. Where I was. That is way too wet. What did I get down there? Nice even coat, which is not going to happen. But if I can keep it wet, I might be able to even it out a little. There we go. Inktense can be tricky. I'm looking for spots where it's clearly darker, but not the darkest of the colors. That's going to be way darker there. See what I need to do. This whole spotted. Still subtle changes to the greens. At least I hope they're subtle. Kind of trying to see if I can get like a little bit of that look of the cells of the leaf in there, but the Inktense wants to blend together a little too well. It's not really leaving spots how I want them. A little darker under that edge there. No, that made it too brown. No brown. We don't want brown. We want dark green. Fill that off. Ooh. That just wasn't opaque enough. We're getting somewhere. That may need more coating. It's a little weird. Yes, it is. It's a little weird. See if we can get that in. Very much illustrative, this little painting I'm doing. So, more solid colors than blended colors. This is high, like drying way lighter than I want it, so try to darken it a bit. I don't want to start mixing black into it. Even though that might be what I need to do, I don't want to. Keeping this way wet in hopes that the color will be more saturated when it dries. This needs to be way dark. Let's see how dark we can get. Color was a little too dry. A little too some. Not enough water in it. And I just keep dipping in the same water. There isn't really that much color coming off of it. Let's make it a little wetter. Just give me some nice wet. Touch that. Where was I just there? Here. See if we can just adjust the shadow a little bit. A little bit more into that green tone. That was a little dark. And I also want to see if I can darken it just a bit on this edge here. Let that dry in and see what it does. Yes, it is definitely going to be in shades of pink. Now that I look up and see. I'm not getting exactly the shades of the green I want. This one dark green seems to change it to a little bit almost brownish. I don't like that. So I'm trying to keep it in the spectrum of green, but also darken. A little bit more green. Brush a little lighter green over it. See if that'll work. But keep it dark as well. Soften that edge, which may give me even a harder edge. We'll see. Try something here. Wet it. And then try drop in just a little bit of that darker green. See what happens. Just a little bit of a shadow over here. You need to darken up the spot that is where the butt shadow is. The whole thing, most of it. We can smooth that out a bit. This whole piece here looked a little off. Just trying to get my darks dark enough. Shut. Sorry about that. I usually put it on mute, but I forgot to. Clearly, there's a fire somewhere. So, that is out of my control. Okay, I say enough with the leaves. Let's try and do some flower. Because those leaves are not coming out quite the way I want them to. But we'll see what we can do with the flower. Um, in the reference photo, there are definitely some hot spots which are almost completely white. You know what? I'm just going to try to clean out one of these wells so I have less cross contamination. And as long as I am not the one on fire, I'm okay with all of this. I know that might sound a little harsh. How much time do we got? About a half an hour. Okay, we can do this flower in half an hour. Where did I put my brush? There it is. Lift it back into greens, rinse it off. Okay. Oh, I did not get as much out of that as I thought I did. There's still a lot of orange in there. A lot of purple in there. Those tiny rounded corners. Okay, we're going to start with some of this pink. A little soupy. Start off hopefully extremely light here. In those spots where it's in the photo, it's white. So wherever it's white in the photo, I want to be the lightest pink. That is already darker than I want. Too wet. Spread this out. As fine as we can get. That might not be too bad. I just want to like barely tint the paper with that very, very light pink. Almost non-existent pink. Now we can go a little. That's better. I don't know what's going on out there, but it must be close because I can still hear them. And they keep coming. Actually, be just a little too vibrant. See if I can get the little stripies that are darker in there a little bit before I cover them up. Got a little bit of a swoosh there. You see that? That's cool. Well, let's see if we can do that again. Wet first. pull out some highlights. Don't think it's working, but it might be a little bit. Don't make a mess. It's too harsh. I don't like that line. Just a little too harsh. Soften you up a bit. You drift into the rest of the space. Oh, just dip my finger in it. Don't do that. Differentiate that back pedal a little bit from the front pedal. Shadow should be much darker. See if we can do that real quick. this is all supposed to be dark. Which makes that look like white again. Try and give that another light coat. Too dark? Yes, of course it is. It's close. Could be, it could be better. But you know me, I say that about almost everything. I am my own worst critic. Let me just get these two spots of green that I mixed. If I can get a similar color. That is a completely different color, so I mix it into some other places. Hopefully tie it all together. See what I'm missing. I see what I'm missing. Do you? It's going to be dangerous, but I'm going to give it a shot. Just need to be just a little bit darker in this whole spot. And Always dries lighter than I expected. Okay, but I think that's pretty much where we're going to stop today. So, I'll try a little, clean it off a little better. Go back to the pinkish color. Nice saturated bunch of that. I'm definitely not going to get into the ink, but I want to see if I can use the Inktense with my nib. See if this will work. I just brushed it into the inside of the nib, so we'll see what happens. There we go. All right. That was worth having a little fun. I think that's what we did. That's what we meant to do. I am getting that little blind spot right in the middle, although it's just strain on my eyes. Thank you. It could be smoother. Some of these parts of the tulip and a couple of the leaves just it doesn't have the right contrast in parts. Like this part should be darker than this, but lighter than that. So, but hey, no one has to know unless I tell them, right? um, yeah, that's it. Thank you all for joining me. Did all do the things? Did you all do the things? Did you hit the buttons and do the things? Like, subscribe, that stuff. It helps. It's supposed to help bring people in, but so we're over, so does it matter now? Thank you all who did the things. Okay, so thank you all for being here. Thank you, Clark Fine Art and D Lynn Creative Arts, or D Lynn Photography, whichever one you're being today. um, Thank you for modding. Their links are in the descriptions. They both have channels. They both do things, Instagram and stuff, and YouTube, and blah blah blah. Angela streams just like I do at 3 p.m. but on Thursday, not on Monday. Uh, check out their channels, like them. Thumbs up, subscribe to them. We're all working together on this. You can check out my Patreon. It's not exactly the most exciting place, but sometimes I put stuff there. I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to me. You don't have to pay. You can use the free option. Let's just get some people in there. Maybe we'll get some conversations going at some point when I have some time. I've been doing a bathroom remodel. I was telling Angela about it. The floor was insanely a nightmare. Many, many, many layers of. If you own a house that was built before housing codes, don't work on it. It's crazy. Okay, that's it. Thank you all for joining, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hey, what's up, everybody, and thanks for watching. First off, a big thanks to my model. moderators, Clark Fine Art and D. Lynn Creative Arts. Links in the description. Go check them out. They're great. They really help out by keeping the chat lively and in order. But don't go anywhere just yet. There are other ways you can help support my channel, like checking out my Patreon, as others have, where you can follow for free or select a tier that fits your needs. You can hop on over to my website where you have access to my original arts as well as prints, and even check out the merch store where new stuff is added now and then. If you'd like to check out more of my stuff, you can do so by checking out some videos over here, or you can subscribe by clicking the thing here. And of course, you can hit the buttons and do the things. YouTube loves it when you hit the like button, the subscribe button, ring the bell, and share it to all of your social medias. You rock, you're all awesome, and together we make great art. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.